room, so it don't take a lot to
So
warm it
you
up.
see that one in that room, the
Yeah,
big one,
yeah,
it's getting ready to come. And I was gonna take that out and put that one in here. That you saw how it get warm up
yeah.
in here? It would get warm
Yeah.
like that.
I'm gonna tell you another thing you should do. Put something under the doors,
Yes.
cause a lot of air sweep through.
Yeah. Other than the doors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's the only thing about Juan. He disappears.
Jane. Thank you. Hey Keith, I have to put this up to remind you.
friend Skip Mungo, political consultant.
My man.
Two bad brothers in the city of Detroit. Our show is sponsored by Courageous Detroit Radio. You can follow us on www.courageousdetroitradiostation.com. The topic today is a couple of things I want to talk about, Skip. If you had a magic wand, how would you make Detroit better? And then on the other, at 15 minutes after, I want to talk about Mike Duggan. The story in the streets is Mike Duggan is leaving. He's running for governor. And what kind of mayor you think we should have leading us into the future? So let's get started. You know, my friend Skip, when I was growing up, we moved from Black Bottom to Homer Street. Black men went to work. They're working in the plants. There was nice neighborhoods over there back in the day. Houses were nice. Men, you know, you can hear around 3 or 4 o'clock, the cars started, some man going to somebody's job.
That's right.
My backdrop was University of Detroit. On Fridays, you know, when the men got paid, okay, they was getting they get their little drinks and stuff on. You know, they were doing their little thing. Then on Saturday morning, AMP was crowded.
That's right.
Okay. You know, back in them days, the minimum children in the house was 5 and 0.
That's
5
right.
to 8 in the house.
That's
okay?
right.
And so there was love. There was no violence. It was violence, but you know, the violence, our violence back in the day was a little cutting.
It was isolated.
Yes, it was isolated. Okay? The man, remember the fish man used to walk down the street, called Fish Man.
That's right.
So if I had a magic wand, I would like to repaint Detroit.
And it can be repainted. It could go back to those days.
Yes.
And what Detroit needs is a combination of things. One, we have to identify the biggest problems in Detroit, and we line them up like dominoes. Mm-hmm. The biggest problem by far, if I had a magic wand, or even if I just had the ear of the mayor, I would allocate more money to public safety. The number one issue by far in the city of Detroit is crime. Crime stops people from moving in. Crime stops new businesses from coming. When people don't move in, people move out. New businesses close. No new businesses coming in. Old businesses closing up, moving out. What happens? The tax base just goes. So all city services begin to be diminished. But I'm going to tell you one thing where it's hurting the most. Our tax base has dwindled so much. Used to be a time, man, if you ride around the city of Detroit, you'll see schools in every neighborhood. There were schools in every neighborhood. No more, the public school system, man, is in trouble because of charter schools and whatnot. In trouble. That's what makes a community. What are the 3 things make a community? A grocery store, a school, and a bank. And you hard pressed to find anything in the city of Detroit, and a hospital. Detroit used to boast of over, I think Detroit might have had over, I don't know the number, but it was an astronomical amount of hospitals in it. Like Crenton Hospital, that's up in Rochester right now, used to be on the boulevard.
Yes, it is.
You could go on. Burt Mercy. Herman Kiefer was a hospital.
Yes.
You could go on and on and on and on. You don't have any more hospitals. You don't have any schools. You don't have any decent grocery stores. You don't have people moving in because of public safety. So if we line that problem up and we knock that first domino down, it'll change everything. If the city of Detroit is known as being a safe city, people will move back in. People will open up businesses, pay more taxes, pay the school taxes, open up schools, and just constantly, just on autopilot. More people move in, hire more police officers, make the city safer. Again, more people come in, schools open, businesses open, and we can go back to that Detroit that you grew up in, Keith.
My daddy and them said, quiet as a kept. Quiet as a kept. Think about it. They're already moving back. They got you believing.
No. They moving back,
They moving back. Because they'll take a chance on Detroit better than the bourgeoisie Negro would take a chance on the city of Detroit.
They're moving back.
Yes.
But we moving out.
Yes. Remember the song, People Moving In, People Moving Out? I just got through hearing that song, Ball of Confusion.
Why? Because the color of our skin.
They was running, but now they coming back.
Yeah, because run, but you just can't hide.
Right.
Malcolm X talked about it 60 years ago.
Right.
He said, man, you move into one of their neighborhoods, you brag. I'm the only one on my block.
Right.
He said that's just for a short period of time. Because you move in, they move out, and it becomes a black neighborhood all over again. But nothing wrong with a black neighborhood, but when the resources are depleted. The people, let me say this, the people who are moving in, man, they have resources. They can send their kids to U or D or any private school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, the closest thing that a lot of citizens in the city of Detroit get to a private school is a charter school.
That's psychological.
Yes, it is.
Because the charter schools they don't have certified teachers in there.
At all.
Think about this. Think about this. At one time when Dave Sneed was superintendent of school, Arthur Jefferson and Dave and all that, the tax base was up there. When Dave got kicked out, it was $100 million. Schools were $100 million in black. Test scores was up, and the neighborhoods were stable.
Yes.
Now you go through a neighborhood now. If you see a school closed up, the whole neighborhood is closed up.
That's right.
The school is your intelligentsia. It's your it's your foundation of hope.
And it's your bond.
Yes.
You talk about the people you grew up with. You went to school with them all in your neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Y'all played in school, got out of school, played at home. This is where your lifelong relationship started.
I'm going to take you back on a journey. In 1963, Keith Williams grew up at 15763 Homer. I went to Fitzgerald from the 1st to the 3rd grade. My sisters went to Duffield from the 1st to the 3rd grade. Then we moved from Black Bottom. She went to Custer. Custer from the 3rd to the 6th grade. Custer was a white general. Fitzgerald was a white president and all that other stuff. The bottom line is this. I got bused in 1963. I went from Fitzgerald all the way out to Burke Road in 7 Mile at McKinney. From the 3rd to the 6th grade, I went to McKinney. Then from McKinney, I went to Metatol, and from Metatol, I went to Henry Ford. My trajectory should have been Fitzgerald, Post, Cooley, Central, or Mufford.
And that's how you break up neighborhoods.
Guess what? And the reason why they did it, they didn't want to build. They didn't want to make. They didn't want to build new schools. All they did was populate us somewhere else. And when we came, we got called the N-word. Then they started moving.
Yep.
Okay? When they saw us coming, they started moving. See, the thing is, if you ever notice white families and living in black communities, they got daughters, they got to hurry up and exit out.
Look up, I don't know if it was in the News and the Free Press in 2017. It was the 50th anniversary of the 67 Rebellion.
Yes.
They interviewed a young lady, older lady who grew up on 12th Street. She said she was about 6 years old, came home from school one day, told her mother and father, said, I have a boyfriend. And they think it's cute. Oh, yeah, really, really? Well, she brought him home, a black guy. She said they had a for sale sign in their yard the next week.
Yes.
They moved out and never to return.
Yes. Yeah. But see, the thing is about...
A kid, though, a 6-year-old kid.
But the thing about this is this. When I grew up, people cut their grass. It was pride. The love. Everybody was out trying to outdo each other. Okay, with the manicuring of the land, the lawns, the mothers. You saw clotheslines in the back.
Sure did.
You saw the mothers talking over the fences. You saw love. The spirit is gone.
It is.
The spirit is gone in the city of Detroit from that perspective. So why I said paint the town. Some years ago when I was out of college working in the sales world, they had this thing called Paint the Town. We went in neighborhoods and painted individual seniors' houses.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we painted senior houses.
It's similar to the program you started when you was in Wayne County Commissioner.
Yes, a senior chore program.
Yeah.
Where we went in and isolated senior that need their homes grass cut and clean.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That brings pride. When you see a house being painted, you see grass being cut, you see flowers being planted, that changed the whole perception of a neighborhood, okay? And we lost that.
It wasn't an hour ago. I just had this very conversation with my son. We were riding on the east side over by Mac, and I'm not real familiar with the east side, but we were in East English Village. So Mac, at a certain point, you cross one street, separates Mac, Detroit from Grosse Pointe.
Right.
But it was one street, Mac Avenue, but it was like it was a world away when you cross over the Mac going into Detroit because of the things you just talked about, man. But more importantly, see, I don't want to blame it all on the homeowners. This man, every other house abandoned, boarded up, just, you know, all the city has to do is enforce the codes that are on the books.
Yeah, but
that's it. Hold on, let me say this too. Yeah. Also with the homeowners, a lot of them, and I'm not saying this is right, but this is all they know. Not homeowners, people who dwell in the homes. They have they have what you call a renter's mentality. So they won't cut the grass, they won't plant flowers, they don't want to do anything to beautify their surrounding area because they have this mentality. They're like, you know what, I'm paying all this rent. This is not mine. He should do it. And those landlords, absentee landlords, which a lot of them are white, a lot of them who grew up in those neighborhoods, their families still own those houses. So they rent them out. They slumlords. You remember about 40 years ago when that whole Devil's Night thing was a thing in Detroit.
Right.
I remember they talked about stopping people and arresting them on Halloween or Devil's Night with the gas cans.
Right.
And they take them to the station and they tell them, well, I was hired by Mr. So-and-so to do this. It was the absentee landlords that figured a way to cash in on their investment. Burn the house down. A lot of those houses, man, vacant, burned down structures have been standing, Keith, in that state for 40 years. So again, let's put some of the blame at the city's feet as well. But
we
that goes back. Yeah, that goes back. But that goes back to resources. Population dwindling. No.
But you know.
Very little or no resources. When Mike Duggan became mayor, what was one of the things he said you grade me on, you hold me on? Do you remember?
He said increase the population.
Increase the population because he understands.
Right.
With a dwindling population, so goes the city services.
But this is what I'm saying to you is this, and from my lens, you know, my opinion is that if you don't take pride, you'll never go anywhere.
No, you're not.
And until we take pride in our surroundings, because I don't care. My mother used to tell us, I don't care if you got one pair of pants.
Make sure they clean.
Make sure they clean.
That's right.
And press.
That's
okay.
Right.
If you got one lawnmower. Fix that lawnmower and cut that grass. Okay?
Well, if you got $10 extra, pay somebody. The lawns in Detroit ain't that large.
Right.
They don't have acres, you know.
Yes, and then every now and then paint the house. Put a little paint on the house.
Just
but see,
pride.
I get it. We had the mortgage crisis. That was the worst thing that happened is because it destroyed wealth.
Worse than crack, really.
It was worse than crack.
Yeah.
Because it destroyed wealth.
Crack was isolated. Your person get high, they messed up. The banks came in, you're right, and took away generational wealth. Yeah.
You look at them houses that your parents worked for, it's saved and scrimped and all that other stuff to make life better for us. And once they died off, the kids take it over and they saw this instant money. And they put the house on the auction, and then after they put the house, they lost it, and then the scavengers came out, took the pipes. It was just one vicious cycle.
And the banks were insured federally.
Yes.
These loans were insured, so they could care less if somebody move it, strip it, do whatever you want to with it. We gonna get back, and that's what we're left with right now. What you just talked about, those banks took advantage of people's situations. They literally sent people out in the neighborhoods knocking on
Yes.
doors, offering them $40,000, $50,000, $60,000
Without no documentation.
with zero
You
documentation.
can walk in there and say, "This is the house," and all you gotta do is verify the deeds. You know what them criminals do? They go change the deeds and say the house is there. They were selling the houses up for under their family members and stuff, man.
Yeah, they would.
They didn't care.
You had loan agents. You had people, man, who were opening up, will rent a space
Right.
and hang their shingle, and they became loan officers.
Yes.
And all you have to do is have a relationship with some banks and a appraiser. And that's what took place, man.
It was criminality.
It was.
But the bottom line is this.
I know what you're saying.
Coleman came in. They said for Detroit Free Press, he was the best fiscal manager in the history of Detroit. The Free Press did.
Yes.
I forgot what was the columnist at the time. Bill McGraw wrote that story.
He went back 40 years.
It went back 40 years. But the bottom line is this: when your schools ain't working, because that's your vehicle to home ownership, to wealth building, and all this stuff. An educated soul is a dangerous soul.
That's right.
Okay, because he's got the weapons to live a normal life.
That's right.
But if you ain't got no education, the streets is your life.
That's right.
And when you're in the streets, anything can happen in the streets.
And anything will happen in the streets. That's right.
If you don't believe it, try it.
That's right.
Because you don't know who you're running into. Because when a person is not educated, he don't have nothing to lose.
Man, when you're in the streets, the police hate you.
Yep.
Your neighbors, your decent neighbors hate your guts.
Yes.
The people you deal with really hate you. They plotting every day to rob you.
Right.
The guys on the corners who selling the bean pies hate your guts.
Right.
All elements are against you. I don't know.
And that's why when they did what they did with this mortgage crisis, it didn't even the riots. See, they created this scenario, and we fell for the okie doke. Okay, when you take businesses out of communities, when you destroy school systems, when you take plants out of the system, what do you expect a person to do?
Man.
Okay, but
survive.
Is a survival of the fittest.
Yep.
But Skip, sometimes we got to say enough is enough.
Yes.
And say we're gonna take back our streets.
That's right.
From the jitterbug. Remember they used to call the
the jitterbugs. Yeah.
The jitterbug and the thugs, and bring it to some people, some sensibility.
That's right.
That people that care. We didn't take our stuff back.
You're right.
Because that's why when I'm out
agree.
in the streets, I see a black-owned business, I'm going to support it. I'll put it on my Facebook page.
That's right.
Go over there to Detroit Breakfast on Connors and do business with them. Call in at 313-395-3336 and be a part of this conversation. Now, let me tell you this. There's an ice cream joint, as the brother said, joint on Oakland Avenue. That brother, his family, good ice cream. But guess what we'll do? We'll ride out to Berkeley or ride out to Ray's in Coolidge. This brother got nice scoops, nice varieties. He even cook hot dogs and all this other stuff. He got nice plate in front of his place on Oakland Avenue. Guess what? It's been infiltrated by the people that don't look like us. They done came in and invested in the North End.
Yes, they have.
See,
the North
people
End.
moving in, people moving out, all because of the only thing we're running and they're coming.
And guess what? I saw a house about a month ago on the North End.
Yes.
Sold for over $1 million.
Yes.
I mean, these used to be crack houses.
Yes. They come in, they get some money. See, they go for the prime stuff. When you go for the prime stuff, you know there's always curious minds want to know.
Yes.
Okay, at one time you could have got a house on Boston Edison for $100,000.
Yeah, you could.
Now they cost $600,000 to $1 million.
Yep.
Imagine you bought a house for $1 million. You put another You put say you bought the house for $100,000, put another $100,000 in it, and sell it for $700,000.
That's where your wealth comes.
Yes, where your wealth
and
comes.
that could become generational wealth.
It's all predicated on the markets.
That's right.
If the markets feel good, you gonna make money. Look at the stock market's rising. The interest rates are getting ready to go down. Gas prices are going down. The worst thing they did when they gave everybody a check, the stimulus.
And I hear a lot of black folk. They walk around talking about, man, they gonna vote for Trump because of stimulus checks.
Yes, but the stimulus check made you. When you think about it, the stimulus check wasn't worth a dollar. It was worth 20 cents.
Man, let me say this. And I tell people, I challenge people on this all the time. I'm like, this is who you want to run the world.
Yes.
Because he gave you a check.
I gave you
individually
one
a check. Yeah. This man, I can guarantee you, man, if this man get back in office, the United States, I don't care. See, I always want to challenge these right-wing Republicans who say that the Joe Biden and the country is going in a different direction or the wrong direction. I challenge them, and I tell you, I say it might be going in the wrong direction. However, if Trump becomes president, listen, man, we won't be able to turn the country around and go in the right direction. It's going to be over with.
Okay, so but see, that's the fictitious of a used car salesman. They got this thing about this used car salesman, Donald Trump. Okay, you can see that's what this is all about. But the bottom line is this: if we care about our existence, then we can live a long life. Okay, think about this. We're growing up in the 50s and 60s. They didn't have hospitals. We was living in squalid conditions in one-room homes, restricted covenances, all that kind of stuff. Couldn't get FHA loans. You could go fight in the war and you couldn't get that, man. And I saw my father, your parents. You know what your father went through with big families and stuff like that. They struggle.
Yeah.
And then every now and then the number man, which is called the lottery, the number man's got finance some of the campaigns.
And that was my father.
Yeah.
My father, he had to make do the way he could.
Yes.
Listen, and now you talk about that, man. The number man, the state took over the business, just put them out of business, man. The number man fed a lot of families in the neighborhood. Put them completely. They're doing the same thing. Although I don't agree with marijuana and all that, but they doing the same thing.
With the marijuana.
They are, man.
Look, guess who just getting it? Ohio's getting it now. Conservative Ohio.
Wow.
So they didn't legalize it. They didn't took the street, the thing that had brothers buying nice clothes and stuff off. They took them out of the market now.
They gone.
Hey, the market is you gotta have insurances, you gotta have licenses and all that stuff.
You gotta have, I think, $1 million worth of inventory.
Yeah. But nothing illegal is not a part of my equation. But what I'm saying to you, the government comes in and destroys the whole markets, man.
They do. This is what I'm saying. If it's good enough for the state, then why was it so against the law before the state was making money off of it?
Well, it's the people behind it.
Bingo.
The multimillionaires, they know how to go find new markets.
You got guys, man, nonviolent crimes that's set in the penitentiary for selling weed.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's on every corner.
Yeah.
And not one. There are some. Just a sprinkle, a handful of black owners.
Right.
In this black city, man.
But let's change the subject.
Which takes us to our next subject. Who would be a good mayor after Mike?
So I came under Mayor Greer. Jerome Kavanaugh, my father, that was during that time. I knew this guy that they said was going to be the next John F. Kennedy and all this other stuff. Then the riots tore his butt up, and he never recovered. So then Roman Gribbs came in, a moderate to conservative white guy, when Detroit was around 60, 70% white. And then after him, we got the honorable, the incomparable Coleman Alexander Young.
That's right.
And I was a senior in high school when he became mayor of the city. He brought style. He brought charisma. He wore nice clothes. He wore the Barcelona, and he was a man.
And he brought pride to black folk.
Yes.
Let me say this, going back to Kavanaugh, and you said the riots tore him up. That's why you got to be so careful who you let sit in your cabinet.
Right.
See, his cabinet, his kitchen cabinet, was a lot of elitists, black folk. And they would tell him, because riots was going up all over the city, 64, 65, all over the country. Kavanaugh go to them. Of course, this was he was worried about a riot breaking out in the city. You know what the Negroes was telling him?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Mr. Mayor, the Negroes here are happy. It'll never happen here. Man, they never bothered to tell him that his police department was cracking heads, killing people.
Yeah.
Because it didn't happen to them.
Right. And their kids.
And their children.
Yes, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why you got to be careful, man, about who you let sit at your table, man.
Hey, the methodology hasn't changed.
Yeah, it has.
Because you got the government and their people, they can only deal with certain blacks.
That's right.
And they don't let the other blacks out of the equation.
And a lot of time, those blacks who make decisions in the city of Detroit don't live in the city of Detroit,
right.
Which is insane.
Insane to me.
Why would you put someone who make a effort to leave the city of Detroit, you want to bring them back in, and I'm just speaking hypothetically, if you bring them back in to make decisions on behalf of Detroiters, insane, man.
I told somebody this. If I was mayor, if you don't live in Detroit, you don't get no contract.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that.
Yes, but you can't go to nobody. You can't go to Livonia and talk about you want a contract.
You got business. You have businesses who getting multi-million-dollar contracts who have a PO box in the city of Detroit.
Yes,
that's it.
Or they got a front.
Yeah,
because the black brothers only getting 10% of the deal.
That's it.
They're 10%ers.
It's the crumbs that fall off the table.
They get the crumbs that fall off the table.
Like Lazarus, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so if I was mayor, if you don't want to live in Detroit and want to invest in Detroit, then you don't get Detroit's money.
That's
plain
right.
and simple.
That's right.
So my next mayor, the next mayor I want to see is somebody like Coleman Young.
Yeah.
Somebody got guts, a man. Okay.
Or a woman.
Yeah,
but somebody who
got guts.
See, it has to be somebody, man, for real. I've thought about this a long time. It has to be somebody who not only loves Detroit, but who is in love with Detroit. Man, it has to be somebody that rides through the city and look at some of the things that we see every day and cry about it. And make sure, you got to look at Detroit true. Like it's your daughter on the corner and you trying to clean her up, man.
Yeah.
Other than that.
Hold on, that is true.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy.
Yes, man.
It's just like your brother who's on that corner, been on crack, been drinking and all that other stuff. And when he comes home, he's smelling up the house and all this other stuff. And then my mother put him make him go take a shower. That's what that's all about, man.
Because it breaks your heart. Because
to see him going through that.
That's right.
It breaks my heart.
That's right.
To drive through the community and I'm seeing black folks struggling. Their houses dilapidated. No pride and no vision how they're going to eat the next meal. Just today, I'm going through McDonald's. Get me a sausage biscuit. No, I need a sausage biscuit. I need a hole in the head. And the girl knocking at my window, you have $1.
Yes. Yeah.
It just happened this morning. Okay? And I'm saying, in a city this large, people got mental issues, got health issues, got quality of life issues, and they cannot survive.
And that's a whole nother topic about mental health. When John England closed all the mental health. But guess what? How many Republican governors have we had since then, and they haven't opened to back up?
No, because they privatized everything.
That's right.
They was giving the money to their friends.
That's right.
But guess what? We have certain black folks, as long as they're at the table, they're happy.
They don't care.
They don't care.
It's sad, man.
I live on Hartwell in 7 Mile. I can go anywhere I want to go. I choose to live in the hood. The hood's been good to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Hey,
Detroit been good to me.
It been
Man.
good to
I
me.
can move anywhere I want to.
Yes.
I raised my family in Detroit.
Hey,
now, how
man.
many people can say that?
my son went to school in Detroit.
Yeah.
The only time he left, he went up to Central Michigan to play football.
You're right.
The Cass Tech gave him a shot to be a better person and gave him education.
First time my kids left is when they went away to college.
Yes.
And they moved back. My
Yes.
son just bought a house in Detroit.
But see
in
what
the
I'm
University
saying?
District.
They got to invest in Detroit.
Yes.
We got to invest in Detroit. But more importantly, we need to take back our economic and political infrastructure.
That's right.
I'm looking for a Coleman Young with a Coleman Young like person, black woman or black man. You know, I ain't mad at white folks. Hey, I love them. I love them like they're my brother. But guess what? They're gonna look out for each other. I want to look out for my people.
That's right.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? When I was county commissioner, yesterday, 2 days ago, a guy from Marygrove called me up, Keith. Let me tell you what I did 2 months ago, 3 months ago when it was warm. I drove down Green Lawn where Marygrove, where old Bacculata used to be. Man, in corner house, a nice home, trash 6 feet high.
Oh my God.
It was terrible. Then I go down the street, trash 6 feet high. Kids practicing football, they seeing that scenario. Then in the middle of the block is an open dope house.
Yeah.
Okay, guess what I did? In 2 hours, okay, the next morning the whole thing was cleaned up.
That's right.
Okay, because I take pride in my city.
That's right.
I ain't elected to nothing.
That's right.
But I made some phone calls.
And they got everything.
Got everything taken care of. See, people don't realize because Courageous Detroit radio station has got resources. It's got information to tell you on Saturdays and throughout the week. We got outdoor entertainment venues. We ain't begging, but we love Detroit.
That's right. Come and support us.
Come support us.
You got a whole entertainment complex over here.
Yes,
but it goes beyond entertainment.
Yes.
Go public service.
Yes, public service. But the bottom line is they calling me up.
Yeah. Yeah, now that's crazy.
They got city council members, state reps, and all this stuff. I'm telling you, I just got a call yesterday, Keith. He got abandoned houses and squatters in there.
And see, that's one reason I was against council by districts as well. People were bamboozled with that council by district. I remember getting into a heated discussion with somebody over that. And I tell them, man, the city council has no power over city services. They hold the purse strings, but if I'm the mayor and you and I button heads, it's nothing for me to go in my pocket, pull out 30 or 40,000 to put somebody in a race against you and wipe you out. If I'm the mayor and I'm butting heads with you, it's nothing for me to tell the sanitation department to slow up on picking the trash up over there. And what are people doing because they were bamboozled? They look at all this and they turn to their council member and say, hold on, listen, this is what we elected you for. When in actuality, that's not what you elected me for. I can't do this if the mayor. So when all else, when everything is exhausted, they resources and they fed up, they call you.
Yes.
It's terrible.
They call me. So once again, we had a wonderful show. People, you got to call in to engage us. And we can engage you because everybody's got an opinion. This is my co-host, Skip Mungo, and I'm his partner for life, Keith Williams, former Wayne County Commissioner and a consultant. God bless.
And a bad man.
God bless. Have a Merry Christmas. And don't get caught up in the fake Santa Claus.
That's right, my man.
Man, real quick. They ran a scam on us.
Yes, they did.
This big guy at 12 o'clock going to everybody's house, flew in on a reindeer, and now y'all rushed across Hudson's and Macy's.
And when your mother and father have bust they butt all year to make it decent for you, you pay tribute to some fat guy coming down your chimney, right?
God bless.